Today I'm going to show you how to make an origami fold booklet. So it opens up and you can draw and write on the inside, and then it folds into a nice square. You will need a square piece of origami paper, pencil, scissors, some sort of glue, glue stick works, or liquid glue. If you want to make a cover out of thin cardboard, that's in the cardboard center. And then my cover is wrapped in magazine, so you could also go to the collage center and get some things to wrap your cover in. So our first step is to fold our paper in half. We want to try and line our corners and edges up as best as possible. Hold it with one hand and make a really nice sharp crease. Crease is another word for fold. Open it back up. Fold it in half again. All right, now we should have 4 equal squares. We're going to flip it over. And now we're going to fold it corner to corner so that we have a triangle. And what we're practicing here is actually an important fold for origami. A lot of origami things use this as one of the first steps. So then what we have to do, we have to squash this into a square. And this can be kind of tricky at first. So I flipped mine back over so that now these points are like little mountains. And I'm going to gather those together with one hand. And this might take a helper the first time if you want my help or someone else. So I've got them gathered, and I've got these 2 spaces. So I'm going to set one of the squares on the table and then squash it down with my other hand. Sometimes in origami this is called a squash fold. So now what I have is this shape that opens up. It looks like a small square and it opens up into a bigger square. Now if I want to make a cover with thin cardboard, or you could even use colorful paper, I can do that. So I'm going to line this up on the cardboard, and if you've already got straight edges, use those to your advantage. Work smarter, not harder. So I can just trace around 2 sides because I lined it up along the edge here. I always trace with my pencil first, that way I know I'm being more accurate with my cutting. And I'm going to go ahead and cut that little edge off there. All right. And then I can use this same piece, and I'm going to trace again. I just did it on 2 sides because I've got 2 flat edges. If you need Mrs. Hayes to use the paper cutter and help you cut out straight edges too, ask her for help. And I like the Doritos and Cheetos for my cover, so I'm not going to cover them up. But if you did want to cover in a magazine cover, you can cut out a piece of paper that's a little bit bigger than your magazine. And I cut these corners off so that when I overlap them, it just lays a little bit smoother. And I would just do a line of glue or glue stick there, or even glue sponge. Smooth that out. And what this does is it wraps even the edges of your book. So it gives you a really smooth finish. And then the last thing I would do after I've got my cover wrapped is add glue to the inside of that square. Bring it all the way to the edges. And then I'm going to carefully line this up so the paper is connecting to the back. Press it together. So I can repeat that same step with my cardboard if you don't want to wrap it in magazine or paper. So I put glue all over that square. If it's not lined up the first time, peel it off, reposition it before that glue dries. Another tip I have, sometimes it's easier to put the glue right on the paper instead of the cardboard. Bring it all the way to the edges. Now my book is ready to write in, to draw in, and I've got this cool cover.